by GROOTS and HIVOS. That is going to be here. So you can stay here with your belongings, come closer to the front, and the hosts, GROOTS and HIVOS, are ready to start that conversation here. So I'll ask those who are not planning to be here for the conversation on how grassroots women are leading Kenya's agroecology transformation. You can just head on to the other breakout sessions, as you can see there on the agenda and the program, as we give GROOTS and HIVOS team that are hosting this conversation here on how grassroots women are leading Kenya's agroecology. So Cecilia from GROOTS is about to start. So those who are keen on this session here on how grassroots women are leading Kenya's agroecology transformation, please move up front. There's ample space here, and we want you to start following the session. For those who are keen on the other sessions, we'll ask that you excuse us so that we can have all the attention on to the front here for those who are leading this session, and you can head on to the other breakout side events. The facilitators are ready to start with you for the last session of day one, and we meet here at 8 o'clock tomorrow, Majaliwa.
So I am inviting all GROOTS Kenya champions so that we can be singing the GROOTS Kenya anthem. GROOTS Kenya champions, as we prepare very fast. Jamii yenye amani, afya, haki na usawa, ndilo lengo letu. Wamama wa mashinani, mama apate haki ya kisheria. mama apate haki ya kijamii. Mama apate haki ya kiuchumi. Mama apate haki ya kisiasa. Ukimsaidia mama, umesaidia jamii yote. Ukimpatia uwezo, umepatia dunia nzima. Mama apate haki ya kisheria. Mama apate haki ya kijamii. Mama apate haki ya kiuchumi. Mama apate haki ya kisiasa. Maombi yetu wa mama, mwito kwenu twautoa. Fedha na maarifa zifike kwetu mashinani. Mama apate haki ya kisheria. Mama apate haki ya kijamii. Mama apate haki ya kiuchumi. Mama apate haki ya kisiasa.
Ay, wapi makofi, wapi makofi. I can't see you clapping, ladies and gentlemen. I can't hear you. I can't hear you clapping. Let's clap for the Grassroots women who just made a beautiful presentation. Ati mama apate haki ya nini? Ya kila kitu. Mama apate haki ya nini? Ya kisiasa. Mama apate haki ya nini? Ya jamii. Ya kiuchumi pia. Mama apate haki ya kila kitu. So ladies and gentlemen, I would love to ask, mnataka nitumie lugha gani? Kiswahili ama Kizungu? Nichanganye? Haya, sawa basi. Tumeambiwa tuchanganye. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our panel today, our side event. It's hosted by grassroots organizations operating together in sisterhood, that is GROOTS Kenya, and also hosted by HIVOS East Africa. So today we are going to have a very, very beautiful conversation. And I would love to ask, how many of us grew up in a farm? Wangapi wetu walilelewa katika mashambani? Hebu nione kwa ishara ya mikono. Na nani walikuwa natuonesha mambo ya shamba? Ulikuwa unaona nani sana sana? Nani sana sana? So we saw many of our grassroots women. Si ni ukweli? So ndio maana tunasema today we are about to have a conversation ili tuweze kusikia how. Hebu ambia niba yako how grassroots women are implementing agroecology in their farms. Sini ukweli? So if you want to hear the real life experiences, because sana tunakuwa na hizi conversations, lakini kina mama wako pale, decisions zinatengenezwa wakiwa pale. Na ndio maana leo tukasema let us hear from the lived realities of grassroots women. Na kabla tuweze kuingia pale, I would like to invite our executive director of GROOTS Kenya to be able to talk about our journey with the rural women cultivating change, so that we can be able to understand how our journey has been. Then we can go into our panel discussions. Ladies and gentlemen, keep clapping until she gets to the front. Keep clapping. Our executive director, GROOTS Kenya, Eunice Mwangi. Karibu sana.
Good afternoon. Habari ya after lunch. Tuko salama? Wamama wa mashinani ni wangapi hapa? Tuinue mikono. Hadi Chebet. Tuko wengi. Asanteni sana kwa kukuja. na kama Vivian vile amesema, kwa majina mimi naitwa Eunice Mwangi, mimi ndio executive director wa GROOTS. GROOTS ni National Movement of Grassroots Women and Girls. Tunafanya kazi Kenya, tuko kwa county 30. Na nataka kuchukua hii fursa kuwakaribisha wote kwa kukuja kwa hii side event yetu, side event ya How Grassroots Women are Leading Kenya's Agroecology Transformation. Kwa sababu hatuwezi ongea mambo ya food ama food transformation kama hatuongei ni nani yako nyuma ya hiyo chakula, si ndio? Na ni wamama wa mashinani. Kwa hivyo shortly, sababu ya time, nitawatake through the journey na kwa nini tuko hapa, alafu tutaita the panelist na Vivian atakuwa akisongesha slide. So leo tumesikia mambo mingi. So leo hatuongei mambo ya crops, hatuongei mambo ya technology, leo tunaongea mambo ya women leadership. Kwa sababu wamama ndio wako pale tunasemaga kwa ground wakifanya kazi ya hii mambo ya food transformation. So when we ask who is transforming Kenya's food system, the answer is not only found in research institutions or in government programs, inapatikana kule kwa villages, si ndio? Kwa villages zetu ndio tunapata wamama wanahifadhi mbegu, wanaombana hizo mbegu, wanasaidiana na neighbors, tunapata wanafeed familia zao na wanasaidia communities ndio kusaidiana kuweza to solve this problem ya climate change yenye imetukumba, si ndio? So today we celebrate the leadership of grassroots women, but also we need to ask ourselves, how can we better recognize, support and invest in the women? So ndio tuelewe, I'll first share the journey behind this program yenye imetuleta hapa. Program yenye tunaita RWCC, which means Rural Women Cultivating Change. And the program is more than just agriculture. It is built on the belief that women cannot transform food systems if the systems themselves continue to exclude them. Sindio? Tunasema tunataka wamama wakue kwa leadership, tunasema wakue viongozi, lakini ikifika kwa decision making, hatuwapei chance ya kukua in the leadership. So, and this program realizes that these issues are interconnected. A woman cannot fully participate in agriculture if she has insecure land rights. I think the last panel that was here, there's someone who spoke about women not having titles, going to the bank, mnaitishwa collateral yenye ni title deeds. But sasa utatoa wapi title deed kama hauna hata shamba, hauna title, utatoa wapi hiyo collateral kama hauna title deed? So that is part of the issues that this program seeks to address. And so instead of addressing just one challenge, RWCC address all the issues together. So tunajua kuna mambo ya lack of access to finance, kuna mambo ya harmful social norms, kuna mambo ya climate shocks that continue to threaten the livelihoods, na ndio maana we came up with this program. And then e-program is being implemented in 3 countries. That is in Kenya, Tanzania and Ethiopia. Na huku Kenya, e-program iko Baringo, Nakuru, Laikipia and Kitui. So each of these counties ziko na unique environmental and social realities, but they have one thing in common. Women are already leading local solutions. Nyinyi mko na indigenous knowledge. So hatukuji hapo kumwambia ni nini ambayo mtafanya, kwa sababu tunajua you have the knowledge, you have the resources, na we just need to unlock that potential. So our role has never been to introduce leadership in the communities. Our role is to strengthen it and to connect it and to ensure that it is recognized. So what the project strengthens it doesn't begin with the crops, it begins with the people. Na I think kuna slide yenye utaona ni watu, tumeka watu, hatujeka mimea, tumeka watu. So it begins with the people because yes, climate resilient agriculture matters. Yes, food security matters. But lasting change only happens when women are empowered to lead those changes. So when women lead, when households adopt better farming practices, si watoto wanakula chakula yenye iko nutritious. Now we all know that nutrition is important. So families are able to diversify their income so that we are able to kumaliza hiyo poverty yenye iko kwa community. And that is why the approach of this program is very holistic. The program in a target sana sana on the women who are mostly left behind, women smallholder farmers, young rural women, female-headed households, and also survivors of gender-based violence. Because we have said all these issues are interconnected. So whether those issues that are the barriers that women are facing are issues of gender-based violence, whether it is lack of those productive resources, all of them are interconnected. And that is because resilience should never depend on where someone lives or how much land they own. Every woman deserves the opportunity to contribute to Kenya's food system with dignity, confidence, and equal opportunity. And that is why we address all aspects. In terms of the partners, we are proud to work along HIVOS. We have Seed Savers Network and Seed Change among other regional partners. Now, the way it is designed that each partner brings in unique expertise. But the most important partners in this program for us is the grassroots women themselves, because they are the co-creators of the solutions. In terms of our innovation on what makes our WCC different, most of the time unapata development programs work in silos, but for us unapata one is focusing on gender, the other one is focusing on livelihood, another one is focusing on biodiversity. But for RWCC, all those, everything is interconnected, and that is why our approach integrates women leadership, climate resilience, biodiversity conservation, sustainable agriculture, economic empowerment, and prevention of gender-based violence. Because when one improves, hizo zingine pia zina improve. So perhaps we have an innovation that this program has done, which is the development of gender transformative agroecology module, which was launched in 2025. Yenye sasa inatusaidia pia to ask the deeper questions, inasaidia wamama pia wakipractice agroecology, they have something that they can use yenye inawaongoza. And we have seen the results. The results, we have seen them. We have seen women who have become more evident, they have become more confident even when they are speaking. Women have reported greater food diversity. Households' income has also improved as per the data in one of the slides. And these numbers matter, but what I think is more exciting about this program is what lies behind those numbers. Because behind every percentage is a woman who has greater confidence. Because sometimes we chase the numbers, but then we forget about the social aspect. How do women become more confident? How do they get the confidence to even become leaders? So we have seen families, communities that have become more resilient, and that is what women-led agroecology looks like in practice for us. And as I close, so that we go to the panel, as we move into the panel discussions today, Vivian has said we are going to get lived realities. Our panelists are ni grassroots women wa mashinani ambao wao ndio wana practice hii agroecology. So I encourage us to listen, not to only get the data, but also to see. You see the people behind it. Tuwaone hawa wamama wa mashinani. So they represent what becomes possible when communities are trusted, when women are empowered, and when partnerships invest in local leadership. So I hope today's discussion inspires all of us to ask not whether grassroots women should be at the center of agroecology transformation, but how can we actually accelerate the investments, the policies, the partnerships that allow leadership to flourish. Asanteni sana and karibuni sana kwa hii side event, and I look forward to an engaging conversation.
Ay, wapi makofi? Mnamnyima makofi. So today we have agreed that grassroots women are not just simply taking up agroecology, they are shaping agroecology. Kina mama hawafanyi tu agroecology, wanaeneza hiyo agroecology. Na nataka tusikie from our panelists ili muweze kusikia these lived realities and we get to understand what is happening in the ground. So tell your neighbor, karibu sana. Tega masikio na kama vile wanasemanga, give me a banana smile. Banana smile. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chebet Chirchir, who will be our moderator for the day. Give her a round of applause.
I can't see the banana smiles. Where are they? So, off the cuff, these are the people who love Grassroots women, the people who stayed in this room. And thank you for joining us. My name is Chebet Chirchir. Nafanya na shirika inaitwa HIVOS Foundation. Yo HIVOS, it's a Dutch institution, lakini tuko mashinani na GROOTS Kenya na Seed Savers Network. Vile tumesikia, we have an innovation in this project. Tunajua, tulisikia professor akiongea asubuhi, alikuwa amevaa Kimasai. That was a unique presentation. But for us in RWCC, tulisema, we are not innovating anything. We are not reinventing the wheel. Wamama wako na knowledge na tunafanya kwa county. Hivi kwamba tukisema tunafanya kwa county, we collaborate with county governments. For us, I keep hearing extension officers wa kusoma agroecology shule. Mimi nilifanya agriculture form 1 na form 2. Na tulitengeneza mbolea. How many people did agriculture in high school? Si tulifanya? Kwa nini tunakubali kusikia ati ni conventional tu inafundishwa shule? CBC ama inaitwa CBE? Wazazi inashughulikia mambo ya kilimo kweli vile tunataka? See, then agroecology something tumekuwa tukifanya. Sawa sawa. So kwa hii mradi tukasema tunataka ku-enhance knowledge na masomo. Tukatengeneza module. Hiyo module ni wamama walituambia hapa ndio capacity needs, hizi ni topics tunataka kusoma. Na hivi ndio tunataka kusoma. Tutafanya kazi na extension officers wenye tumewa train, si kusema tu kuwa train, ku-enhance hiyo capacity. Walienda shule wakasoma, si ndio? Alafu wamama wako na hiyo knowledge. Wamekuwa wakikuza mashamba zetu. Si tumesikia mimi sikuwaona babangu kwa shamba. Hata babangu hajui kama ni sukuma ama ni spinach iko kwa shamba. Sijui kama hata nyinyi kuko hivyo. Babangu tu labda muulize mahindi, majani chai, si ndio? Na hiyo haileti nini? Chakula kwa meza. Hiyo lazima iende pahali, iende factory, sijui shipiwe ifanyiwe nini. So we have a module. Na hiyo module tunafunza for 26 weeks. Iko na different topics. And in that module, kuna topics inaongozwa na wamama, wenye ni grassroots champion, na kuna extension officers. So kwa hii panel session yetu, tutakuwa na 2 seasoned grassroots champions, na tuko na a young female champion, mwenye ameanza sasa hii mambo ya agroecology, na tuko na 2 extension officers. So first we have Cecilia Mburugu. Please join us. Tupige makofi hadi aketi, tusichoke. Alafu atafuatwa na Esther Njeri. Si tunaona sisi tuna balance. Pia tunafanya mentorship from GROOTS na pia kama RWCC. Sawa sawa. Then tuko na Esther Musali. Afuatwe na Mr. John Kamau from Laikipia County. Then Miss Masi Mwikali from Kitui County. Si tumesikia tunafanya na extension officers na county governments. Hata hiyo Laikipia, Kenya mkusikia venye waliongea asubuhi, tumekuwa tukisukuma hiyo policy ya Laikipia. Sawa sawa? So thank you. So tutaanza na Cecilia. Cecilia, najua hujaanza kilimo jana. Lakini agroecology, sijui kama tuliona results tulikuwa tunaonyesha hapa. Tulikuwa tuna compare 2021 na 2026. 2021 ndio tulianzisha mradi. Sawa sawa. Na tumesikia wamama wamesema kumekuwa na improved income. Cecilia, labda tueleze, since you started doing agroecology na vile tumesoma na module, ni mabadiliko gani umeona kwako?
Asanteni sana. Jina ni Cecilia Mburugu kutoka Laikipia County, and I lead agroecology farmer and also a champion. And the changes that I have seen starts with the plate, each plate that I take, either breakfast or lunch or supper. Kutoka nilianza ukulima hata kitambo, kutoka hii mradi yaanze, nimesoma kwamba ni vizuri kupata ama kula chakula ambacho kiko na lishe bora. Na ni kwa sababu ni chakula ambacho mimi mwenyewe nimekuza katika shamba langu. La pili ni katika uongozi. Mimi kabla ya hii mradi, kutoka niliposoma mambo ya uongozi na mambo ya kulinda jamii yangu katika mahali nipo, nimekuwa katika cheo kadhaa za uongozi. Zile ambazo zimeweza kuniinua kama mama wa mashinani ili niweze kupata hiyo voice, nikifanya advocacy, utetezi katika mambo kadhaa. Ya tatu ni mambo ya partnerships. Katika nilipoanza huu mradi ama katika haya masomo na katika kile kitengo, mambo kusoma the principles of agroecology, mambo ya synergy, mambo ya economic diversification, ni kwamba iwe kuko na mvua, iwe hakuna mvua, naweza pata vyakula vyangu kila wakati. Na pia naweza partner si kwa government peke yake, hata kwa mashirika mengine ambayo yanaona ile kazi ambayo ninafanya. Na pia katika community ambayo mimi niko, siendi peke yangu. Nimeona tukifanya uongozi, nimeona tukilima pamoja, tukisaidiana. Kando tumesema mambo ya gender based violence. Yale mambo ambayo yanakuja na gender based violence ni mambo ya mbegu. Kwa sababu usipokuwa na chakula nyumbani, uombe chakula. Usipokuwa na pesa, usipokuwa na kazi ambayo unafanya kila wakati. Tunajua most of our women bear the brunt of climate change. Iwe ni maji, iwe ni chakula, iwe ni mambo ya health, hayo mambo yote. Lakini wakati mama amejikimu katika ile kazi ama katika ile ukulima anafanya, anakuwa na kazi ama anakuwa na maendeleo, na tunakosa ama tunaweza kumitigate mambo ya gender based violence. The partnerships, we have worked with the county government, especially the county government of Laikipia. Kwa sababu tumesema kama hauko kwa meza, uko kwa menu. Ili kwamba sisi tunataka kuwa katika ile meza, katika ile chakula ambacho kinakuliwa. Hivi karibuni mnisikia our director akisema we are in the process of launching the agroecology policy and bill in Laikipia. I have been in that process, not me alone, with other champions in that process. Kwa sababu if we have a policy of agroecology in our counties, it is an area of advocacy. We'll be able to know how much money in public participations tutaweza kuwekewa, tutaweza kuadvocate for in public, in CFSP, wakati wa mgawo wa pesa katika sectors na katika budget allocation. Ni pesa ngapi hizo ambazo zinaweza kuallocatiwa katika counties zetu ama katika mambo ya agroecology. Because tunajua kwamba haya mambo yote yanaingiana. Si health, tunaona vile magonjwa yanakuja. Na tumekuja kuona through research kwamba most of the vegetables and the cereals and everything that we are eating has pesticide residues. And so if we have a policy and a bill that and an act that we can be able to advocate for resources, to train, to sensitize our communities, because this is a campaign, this is a movement for many people to embrace agroecology. So the change is seen, inaweza kuonekana katika our communities, katika mimi mwenyewe na katika mahali ambapo nimeweza kutoka.
Asante Cecilia, nimesikia hapo siku hizi sahani yake si mboga moja tu, uko na variety, na amesema kwa jamii pia kuna hiyo mambo ya policy, wameweza kuinfluence policy. Njeri, as a youth, tunasikia sisi hatupendi kulima, ama tukae, watu wakiniona wananiambia sikae mkulima. I don't know why. Tangu anze kufanya agroecology, wewe kama youth, unaona imekusaidia aje? Na ni nini itafanya youth wengi waingie kazi ya agroecology?
Asante sana. Mimi wakati nilikuwa naingia mambo ya agroecology na mambo ya farming, haikuwa rahisi. kwa sababu mimi wakati nilikuwa nakuwa, mzazi wangu alikuwa ananiambia study hard so that hutakuwa mkulima kama mimi, hutachoka kama mimi, hautachafuka kama mimi. Kwa hivyo tia bidii mtoto wangu ndio usikue mkulima. So nikikua, when I was growing up, I knew agriculture is for those that have dropped out of school, those that have not made it in life, and it made me work hard na nikamaliza shule and I graduated. So venye nilimaliza shule nikakuwa nyumbani, and then sina vitu, I'm just doing the applications, I'm just there at home, and my mom would tell me there this program and organization ambayo inaongelea mambo ya ukulima. And so kidogo kidogo ndio ananisisitizia, and I was like, why are you forcing me to agriculture and you told me it is related to those that have not done well in school. And so thereby I got into, nika give into, nikasema, let me just go and listen. After all, si uko busy sana nyumbani. And that's how I found Madam Cecilia, who was my mentor. She taught me about agriculture, and slowly by slowly, it sank in me the importance of agriculture, the safest methods to do agriculture, because at the end of the day, we are eating and we can't live without food. And so, agriculture ikaanza kunikalia very important, because I cannot do without food, and so I have to know the safest measures to do agriculture. And for the longest time, or for some few months, I was just taking in knowledge and not practicing. And I thought to myself, knowledge is power, but when that knowledge is applied, it is more powerful. And that's how I got that interest to do agroecological farming, so that I can eat safe food, so that I can look even younger, as my Madam Cecilia looks her 30s and she's in her 50s. And so I got to think, if at all I can eat safely, if at all I can produce safe food, then I'll be able to be healthy and raise a healthy community. So that is what attracted me to agroecology and farming per se. And I'm doing it because even from the group that I come from, we do table banking, and that's where I sourced the funds to have the vertical conical gardens. And I've had the vegetables now from my farm, even though I'm using now my parents' farm, but at least I'm doing it practically, whatever that I learned from this great project RWCC.
Thank you. Let's go to Esther. Esther, kwa hii miaka umekuwa ukifanya agroecology, unaweza sema ni mbinu zipi ama practices zipi kwa agroecology zimeweza kusaidia familia yako na imesaidia je familia yako?
Thank you, madam. Kwanza wacha nimshukuru Mungu kwa kupata hii nafasi pamoja na GROOTS Kenya. They are my mentor. First, I would like to talk to women first. As women, we are at the heartbeat of transformation and guidelines or guardians of life. Leading seeds and the community resilience to climate change is must. Women hold first traditional knowledge on seed preservation techniques, cultivation practices, and crop varieties, where they play a central role in changing the seed within their communities. Their knowledge of seed varieties, particularly those that are resilient to local climate change conditions and the pests. Agroecology helps women in food security because women are often the custodians of seeds change networks, facilitate the free flow of seeds between households and the communities, and ensuring access to diverse planting materials. As per me, Esther, I was helped by agroecology. See, in these ways, seed selection, seed preservation techniques, cultivation practices, and the crop varieties, seed change, local climate conditions, and the pets, and the food security. Seed selection, I select the earlier and the first maturity fruit, so that it helps me to get the quality seeds. Preservation techniques and the conditions of preservations, like moisture test by bottle with salt. The correct and to by bottle with salt, condense, and the correct containers, like the hard bottles. Those are the correct containers to preserve our seeds with, because it is good in, it gives the correct, it gives the correct climate to the seeds. Cultivating practices like earlier planting, correct varieties according to my locality or to my local climate. About the pest, I know the medicinal plants or herbs, trees to make biopesticides, and I use it. It helps me. I don't go to the market or agrovet to buy the pesticides. Food security, there must be food on my table every day, and the fruits also. My communities having kitchen gardens. My area now, the half of women in my locality, they have kitchen gardens. In every ward in where I live, we have demos in every ward. There are poverty food, which is maize. If you plant or you insist planting maize, you are going to end up in a poverty, because uwezi pata mahindi yenye inatosha kuuza na kukula kwa mwaka. So ukiuza utarudi kwa nduka kutafuta chakula. So there at our area we call maize poverty food. According to GROOTS Kenya concerned, we are very far because we are already started. They have started giving champions and grassroots women agroecology loans. Last year, I benefited with it. Na nimefanya mambo mingi. Juni nilianza kupanda machungwa na kuna myths zile watu wanaongea na wengine wanashika wakiona kama ni ukweli. Our area is very hot and people say that in hot areas lemons don't do better, but I can swear that I have the lemons in my shamba, I have bananas in my shamba, I have mangoes. If you can go there and our GROOTS Kenya exhibition, you can see mangoes from the shamba. And as we talk, wakati huu si wakati wa maembe. But kulingana na yale masomo nilipitia na ile ambayo nimesoma about cultivating change, nimejua ya kwamba si lazima maembe izaa mara moja kwa mwaka. Nilifanya something called infusion. Kuweka, si kutumia madawa ya kemikali. Nilichukua matawi na manyasi nikachoma chini ya miembe yangu. Na on so doing ikazaa, niliuza na saa hii naendelea na kukula. Niko na 50 stems za papaya inaitwa Karina. Saa hii inaendelea na kukomaa. I have enough vegetables in my shamba. I have enough tomatoes, about 300 stems, and they are flowering now. Agroecology imenipeleka mbali, imenifungua macho, imenifundisha kutafuta pesa, na imenifundisha kuwekeza. Niseme nini? Ni kwa ajili ya agroecology. Ukitunza wanyama wako kama ng'ombe na kuku, watakupea mbolea inayofaa, isiyo na madhara, na utumii pesa. Unaenda hapo tu kwako nyumbani, kwa mboma, unachukua ile mbolea inanunuliwa kwa pesa mingi, lakini unachukua bure. Na wasihi, turudini kwa ule ukulima wa kwanza, ili tuweze kupata pesa mfukoni. Njua utapelekea wananduka pesa. Utakuwa ukiwekeza na ukifanya yale mambo mengine kama kufanya investments. Na hiyo ndio itatuwezesha kama wamama kufanya, kujenga manyumba ya kutuletea pesa. Wakati wa tukizeeka tuwe hatuwezi kutoka ama kuenda kufanya kazi, utakuwa ukiletewa pesa ukikaa. Na tusipofanya hivyo, tutaanza kuomba watoto na watoto watatuchukia. Hata wajukuu hawatakuwa wakitaka kutoka Nairobi mpaka nyumbani kuona shosho. Njoo shosho mama zao wakifika unawaomba pesa. Vijana wakifika pesa. Wakiona simu ya mama wanafikiri anataka pesa. Yaani wa mama na waomba na wasi. Hiyo yote ni lugha moja. Naomba tutafute vitu zetu ili wakiwa Nairobi, wakiwa Mombasa, wakiwa mahali popote pale, wao wakifikiria nikienda kwa shushu nitakula papai, nitakula nyanya, nitakula, na watabeba wakirudi, watabeba bure. Juu ya mama inaliwa bure.
Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Makofi tena. Kama we ni mama, we ni mzazi, umesikia? Si kila saa tu tuma. Hata wewe tuma. Si ndio? Asanti. Na kile Esther pia ameguzia ni kwamba in RWCC tuko na Agroecology Fund. We have circles that the project put money. Na hawa wamama wanachukua hiyo pesa iwasaidie kufanya kazi ya nini? Agroecology. Si ya kwenda kununua masimu, hapana. Hiyo ni ya Agroecology. And I want to move to Mr. John Kamau. He's an agriculture extension officer. What have you learned from working with grassroots women? Ili partners wengine pia wajue kwa grassroots women kuna masomo. Sawa, maybe you can share that so that other partners can also understand what it means to work with grassroots women. Not for, to do what? Work with.
Thank you, Shebet. I think I'll start here. She's a true champion. And wale tunasema wamama wa mashinani wanaoleta mabadiliko. I think you have heard for yourselves. And maybe I want to start maybe with an approach. I wanted to give a standing ovation to Madam Monica Yatol when she was talking. For me, I'm a feminist, and I believe that a woman can bring a sound change more than a man can do. True? Let me first appreciate this noble and rich initiative by GROOTS Kenya that they made an effort to improve the livelihoods at the grassroots level through the realization that that rural woman can play a very big and essential role in promoting food systems, development agendas, and policies. I also want to appreciate the great effort made by the other collaborators in this program. This includes Seed Change, the Seed Savers Network, and to mention at range the driving force in this, the Global Affairs Canada, who complemented the success of the introduction of this program in Laikipia County. Secondly, you'll agree with me that the national food systems in Kenya and the globe at large is facing serious and unprecedented challenges, which include damage to the environment, raw food production, food insecurity, and poor nutrition. These challenges were more orchestrated and fastened by climate change, increased population, and urbanization. Going by this, as a county, it gave us an invariable entry point for a transition in a food system that is sustainable, democratic, and that seeks to reconcile human and environmental health with the social justice and which is resilient. It equally gave us a room to train an initiative that will address the critical challenge in food systems that is eco-friendly, resilient, and just, using natural processes, local inputs, promoting recycling, environmental care, while still addressing the social inequalities. It also gave us an interactive and participatory platform to advance a food system transformation which subverts the pattern of farmer exploitation, which is currently dominant in all agricultural models in general in the country. These groups summarily gave us a reflection of the challenges the rural producers face, and with a feminist approach, it was an instrument necessary to establish a sound, gender transformative agroecology process. And with this, we have run as a county that the Rural Women Cultivating Change Program is thereby to improve service delivery, agricultural production, marketing, and in fullness, the livelihood of the rural woman. Since Rural Women Cultivating Change Program, RWCC, promotes sustainable farming practices that improve resilience to climate change, will in turn enhance food security. Counties, therefore, can integrate these practices into agricultural extension services and adaptation strategies. We also learned that collaborating with these rural women will enable counties advance goals related to food security, poverty reduction, climate resilience, gender equality, therefore enhancing achievement of all development agendas and goals of the county. Furthermore, when we support these local women groups through training, access to finance, value addition, this goes far in reducing poverty, increasing household income, and job creation. And with this in mind, the county can promote these impacts through prioritized investments and opportunities in procurement and other advanced priorities of the county. We also run as a county that rural women, when they participate in their development priorities, better decision making for the community is realized, more so in agriculture and other livelihood necessities. It was also our understanding that initiatives and projects planned jointly with the grassroots women are more likely to be accepted and sustained in a feeling of ownership, and in most cases, they are grassroots customized. Partnering with these grassroots women will ensure the marginalized members of the society are fully represented in grassroots development plans and policies making. So it is therefore our lesson as a county that in the fullness of implementing this program, we shall be reaching those rural women and those rural men, those rural youth involved in development and priority agendas of the county. Thank you.
Thank you. It makes me happy kusikia county government inasema investment priorities that are for women, for agroecology, na pia wameona when you empower a woman through something like a training, they're able to improve their livelihoods. And last but not least, Miss Mercy, unaona kuvenisi tuko na diversity. Are we meeting all the principles of agroecology? Tunaona partnership, knowledge, tuko na variety, diversity. What else are we seeing? Synergy. So through your trainings, ni nini umeona that county governments should prioritize to ensure that more women adopt agroecology.
Okay, thank you. I'll start by saying last week, yes, on Wednesday, I visited a farmer, a tomato farming farmer. Through he is farming through irrigation. So that farmer alikuwa anapanga kuspray dawa. So na kulikuwa na tomatoes ziko kama machua. Nikamuuliza, sasa ukipiga dawa hizi tomatoes utatunda lini? Imagine the farmer told me dawa zote za tomato PHI ni 3 days. Hey, I almost screamed. So we have a lot to do, a lot to do. And agroecology is the way to go. Because mambo kwa ground, we are on the ground, and my colleague here can testify. Those farmers doing irrigation, large-scale irrigation, they are not doing us justice. So, government, for one, they can strengthen extension services to train more farmers, to establish farmer field days and demonstration farms where we can train more on agroecology. Number two, the government can increase access to affordable financing. Most of the women in our society, they do not have collateral to access affordable credit. So hence they are limited. But if government can offer affordable financing schemes, revolving funds, grants to women, they can invest more in agroecology. As we are saying, the heart of farming, the heart of agriculture is based on women. And I want to commend GROOTS Kenya for GROOTS Kenya Sako. In my ward, I've seen so many farmers who have taken the loan, agroecology loan, and they have benefited. From the area I come, it is Mwingi, and that area is dry. Shallow wells, they cannot survive. So most of the farmers have bought tanks. We train them on water harvesting, and they have harvested water, and they are sustaining their normal farming there and there before they wait for rains during October seasons. Number three, the government can improve access and control of land and other resources to women. Most of the women in our society, they do not have control to land and other resources like oxen, plow, they do not have. They must ask the husband. If they want to invest in those resources, they have to ask the husband. So if government can promote policies that enable women or protect women land rights, we can be going somewhere. Another thing, the government can strengthen women leadership. And for now, as county government, we are going somewhere, because for every meeting I'm supposed to host, I must have a women representative. For every meeting, even if it is for 5 people, you must have a woman representative. So through that, we can strengthen women cooperatives, groups, we train them, we advocate for their rights, we train them on leadership and governance, and from there, the women can talk from themselves. Nowadays, from my area, I can testify that women, they are being elected in positions like BOM members, chair lady of certain cooperatives. There before, hakukuwa na mambo kama hiyo. Kabisa, in Mwingi hakukuwa kabisa. So we are going somewhere. And then the government can also invest in research and innovation. There is a lot we need to learn in organic farming, biopesticides. The government can invest in those things, and it will impact greatly in agroecology. Another thing, the government can promote education and youth engagement by training them on entrepreneurial skills, mentorship programs. And I want to commend GROOTS Kenya also. I know there is a program called Jinue. I hear my coordinator telling me they are training youth. And I have seen several youths, they have benefited from loans, they have invested in their businesses, so they are doing good. And thank you for those efforts that you are doing. Another thing government that can do is to strengthen climate resilience. Weather conditions nowadays, they are very unpredictable because of effects of climate change. So the government needs to make sure each and every farmer on the grounds receives weather information on time, so that that farmer can be advised wisely on what to do, on what to plant during that season according to the predictions of the weather. Another thing that the government can do is to strengthen market and value addition. We are not just limited to planting and eating, subsistence farming, no. The government needs to strengthen market, invest in rural infrastructure, aggregation centers, storage facilities, so that our rural women, they can start adding value and marketing their produce from the farm in a greater value. This will help them to increase household income. So I can say empowering women is not just an investment, but it is investment in food security, environmental sustainability, climate resilience, sustainable livelihoods. It is everything, empowering these women. Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm hearing a few things. County governments, we invest in value addition, marketing. I know we have those departments in the county government. Do we? Si tuko na mtu ako trade. Do we? I'm just thinking my own. Ziko, sindio? So we need to know. Yes? Do you want to share? No. She agrees. Yeah, now I'm going to head to that. Tuko nazo, sindio? But what do they do? Wanafanya nini, sindio? And then what also these women have not talked about is that GROOTS Kenya wanakuanga na budget academies. Hiyo ni sijui tutengenezee module utuuzie. Because we cannot just depend on these very few women, right? And GROOTS in Kenya, you're in 30 counties. Where are the other 17? When we know what we need, we'll know what to ask for, sindio? Kama hatujui tunataka county government build our capacity on value addition, tunataka markets, watafikiria kweli kutupea? Hawaizi, sindio? So thank you so much. This has been rich. I hope I want to get a few reactions. Maybe 2 or 3 people can tell me what their takeaway is from this session, what they are going to do, what they hope to do, and what they hope even our county governments can pick from this. Because as implementing partners, we can see the work that we are doing, but we need a lot of support. Tuanze na
send it to your number, to your phone. Yes, thank you very much. I've really enjoyed this particular session because exactly what HIVOS and GROOTS are dealing with in the rural areas are the major challenges that we are having in the adoption of agroecology, particularly within the families and also the younger people that we are raising. So what you have done is a breakthrough. But my question revolves around the issues of language and particularly the culture. Because the children that we are raising, of course, most of them are still relegated, local foods. When you serve them on the table, they don't see them as being palatable. They are not you are treating them as if they are very rural. They are not enlightened. And so they look at that like an abuse. So you'll find that the food that is cooked, like when I make my wimbi ugali, I eat it alone. But the children will want to eat the ugali with the mahindi or prefer to cook rice or chips. Do you have those problems in the rural areas where you work? Because I do know that even my time when we were growing up, I know that we stereotyped agriculture because agriculture was used as a punishment. If you are not a high performer, you are given a field that has never been dug to go and dig, break that ground. You dug the field, you ran around the field as a punishment. Sometimes sometimes we were even taken to dig pit latrines. A latrine is 20 feet deep, and you are told to go there and increase it by 2 other feet. Those are the sort of punitive punishments that we used to have. And so we grew up thinking that, yes, as someone earlier said there, that agriculture is for those people who are poor, those people who are not performing well, and those who are not able to raise their standards of living. So do you see that kind of perception still going on in the rural areas, or has it improved in the wake of the current educational system where agriculture has now been reintroduced? Is it making any impact, any change, or do you see a better reception of what you are doing with our youths than we experience, and also as we still want to break this wall? Thank you very much.
Hello. Hello. I'm Francis, and I congratulate Grassroots what you are doing to the women. And because I'm a men champion, and I know for sure that our women are totally cherished from all corners. And because I do come from Moranga, GROOTS is new to me. But I happened to just to stay here so that I may hear from you. I know the potential that women have is neglected within each and every society. So I see that there are some gaps that needs to be addressed. And we as men, I personally, I urge men to champion GROOTS so that our society may produce much more than how we are doing. So, I'm an avocado farmer. In our cooperative, what we are doing, because we want to encourage women and youth, to those who have avocados, we encourage even to give at least, if you have 10 or so, you can give 2 or 3 trees to the wife, so that you may help her, that you may help her to heighten her game in agriculture, and also to be a potential. I need to learn from you or from other people. Even when you leave as a man, and what I'm saying, when the man leaves, I'm speaking about when death occurs. So she has a place to start, because for sure women are many and their help is minimal. So I'm encouraging you to do much more, and we will work together. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I have 3 questions, but I'll be very brief. I'm called Jacinta. I come from Uganda, from Kampala. My questions go to the farmer lady. Sorry, I forget her name. But when we talk about gender issues, it's not just about women. So I wanted to hear a little bit more about how the men are being brought on board to support these women so that at the end of the day we reduce on gender-based violence because of seeing women, prospering. Then the second one is, how is she bring on board other women in her community to ensure that many more families have that transformation? I mean, I was impressed by the kind of things she's doing in the enterprises. How is she encouraging other women to do the same so that we see more families being transformed? And then the last one is when we talk about women empowerment, it's also about control of resources. She has set up these different enterprises. How much more is she in control of the resources that she generates from those enterprises? Is it her husband who takes the money? Do they share? How much is she in control? Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Alfred Juma. I work with an organization called Ripple Effect. I want to thank you for the very good presentation, and also would wish to learn a little further. Talking about agroecology, it takes time to regenerate the ecosystem to support increased production and productivity, which will actually enable you to realize the good things you're talking about. And that takes us back to the issue of ownership, especially of land, because you'll be holding this land for much longer, yet you don't have the power to control, right? So what is your experience, especially now that you work in 30 counties? I know there are some counties where land issues are more emotive than the case study you are giving us from the two ladies. So what is your experience where today you are told, okay, you can use this piece of land, and after a short while, you are told move to another because you don't have the control? Then it ties with her question of the proceeds, because empowerment comes with also decision making. Are they yours? Or because I've given you land as your father, I'll tell you bring the money, then it's me to tell you how to use the money. And how will that motivate other people, especially women and youth, to also undertake agriculture, and more so agroecology? If we don't do that right, then it will take us back to irrigated agriculture, where results are very fast. Unaweka dawa, unaweka maji, within 3 months you have your money. If they chase you away, shauri yao, si ndio? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm Sarafin Sarauma from Kakamega, Huisero. And my point of view is that in the current situation, we are facing a problem of joblessness. And yet, when the government invests in women, we can create jobs. From where I come, we have a group, a women-led farmer group, from where we exercise ALVs. And I thank God for Shibuye, who have helped us to this far. And this group produces much vegetables in a way that we are now looking forward on how to add value to our products so that we can prevent losses. So if the government can really invest in women, so far in farming, I'm telling you, we are going to create jobs, and there's no going to be the issue of joblessness. Thank you.
My questions goes to GROOTS Kenya, and this is a 7-year project or 6 years. We need to know how many women have you reached so far. We need to know their income capacities. And I remember HIVOS did a research with Kabarak University. Can we also share that report, because a number of issues were raised by women, and can that even inform some decisions as we think of implementing the National Agroecology Strategy? Thank you.
Thank you so much. My name is Judy Kipkenda from Koibateko Giek Women and Youth Network. So it means I work with women and youth directly. I've had somebody speak here about value addition, and it was in relation to the question I wanted to ask. With the women and young people that we work with, just like the esteemed farmers in front of us, we've actually moved from the training to action and to production of food, clean food, and now we've moved to value addition. Now, I wanted to know if you've actually you've reached to that level of now getting your products to the market. The issue of market. Well, our farmers have transitioned. They're practicing agroecology. They're producing vegetables, and we are fully promoting indigenous foods only. But now the issue of where is the market? I'm asking this from the point whereby our farmers have been made to believe the only place they can take bountiful harvest is the cereals. And we are talking about cereals that will not purchase the same seeds they are criminalizing, the same seeds that have been criminalized by our government. So I don't know if you have markets. How do you access the markets for the products, indigenous products, and also for value-added products? Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sefusani. I represent the Pan-African Women's Network. I have two questions. My first question is, from the conversations that we've had from the panelists, and of course it's very important, we've spoken about women and farming and agroecology, but of importance also is the intersectionality of women's rights and the agroecology. So I've not been able to hear about issues that are affecting women, and especially as the largest demographic of farmers. What issue? The sexual health and reproductive rights, for example, issues of sanitary towels, issues of women giving birth and these rights, issues of femicide, because these also affect issues of women rights, primarily affect the woman farmer, because this is the largest demographic of people who are offering us food. So for us to be able to empower this woman, there is need for us to be able to give attention to this. And also tying to this question is the issue that when we amplify the issues of women and youth, then we are neglecting the man. I think I've heard something like that here. And I think this is something that needs to be addressed in forums like this. Why is it that we are giving attention to the woman and to the youth so that it's not a fight between, these two genders? The second question that I have also on this is, and I know that the program that some of the partners have here is called Rural Women Cultivating Change, but what about the urban and the peri-urban, and especially those who are food insecure and the women in these areas?
Thank you so much. My name is Violet, and I'm really happy to see what the women are doing. I have a question for the county government. I have experience in 4 counties where we work as Shibuye, that the women who are actively being supported by NGOs are likely to be appointed, as you say, to government committees, to attend meetings and help the government in planning. But when it comes to the money that comes to the county, like FLOCA, whatever, these women are never beneficiary. There's a lot of political interference in this money, that you find the women benefiting from the money are women that are affiliated, especially that sometimes selection of these groups is from the ward level. The women getting 20 million or the farmers getting 20 million, whatever money from this climate, decentralized climate, are those affiliated to politicians. I don't know, because now you have these women that sit on the county planning, whatever. If there is any way or a best example that you can tell us how these women are also benefiting from the county money, not just planning. The other thing that I also wanted to bring here is what our friend, the last speaker, has just said. Agriculture is good. As the women say, we are generating money, and still such a meeting should be able to talk about the realities of women farmers. The reality of women farmers is that when women farmers fall sick, they do not have in programs like insurance programs that really can take these farmers, like enroll them, because the insurances are very expensive, the hospital insurances, and the ones that are public, we all know, are not working. So the women farmers are just struggling in between. They don't, I want to even say in Swahili, kutibiwa hawa mama wakiwa wagonjwa ni shida sana. Yet they are really doing a lot in the community. What is the county government doing? Apart from, don't tell me about the existing public insurances, because we all know that ziko na shida hapa na hapa. To even talk to the banks, to talk to other, because banks are now giving, like Equity, whatever, are now giving hospital, whatever, to come to a level where they can give a more affordable way of insurances to women farmers groups. This is really something that should be addressed here, because we can't have women who are in the farm contributing a lot to feed communities, but when they fall sick, they have nowhere to go to. They are subjected to these insurances that don't work. Thank you.
Those are rich insights and rich questions. As the program person, and to say this is predominantly a project for rural women, but we work with women from households, two types of households, male-headed and female-headed households. That's where you will meet these men. But also in these groups, we do not just have all women. Do we have a few men? They agree. But also we have different methodologies that we use. We have male engagement to ensure. There's a question that came up, what happens to their income? I think these women can share the stories on how agroecology has enabled them make an income, but also improve their decision making at the household level. So that the income that is coming in on agroecology, it's purely theirs, they make the decision. But how do we also arrive there? We also have something we call gender action learning systems. In this methodology, we talk about the gender balance tree, and this is something that is done at the household level. So the men, the women, and the children, they all look at what everyone does in that household, and it has translated consumerately in terms of now the income and in terms even of labor and the things that women are doing. There's been division of labor in the household. Again, agroecology for us was an entry point for land rights for women. I think we could not even see that there's something in agroecology, they're even allocating them more space. But then again, it has also improved household relations. Some of these women can tell you that when they started agroecology, they were doing the manure production on their own. But throughout this journey and seeing the benefits, the men are issues of the markets, but these women can also speak into some of where they're taking their produce. Mkona soko? I think you'll also speak on that. And then, yeah, that's a very valid point that you raised there. These women who've been empowered by NGOs, they're the first ones to be appointed into boards, but when the money comes, where are they? So I think, Cecilia, kila mtu achukue kwa hiyo maswali tumeulizwa ili unaweza jibu ukitumia pia your experience. Tuanze hapa tukienda hivyo.
Yes, nitaanza na Dr. Olembo about the cultural foods. If you go to our exhibition right outside, you will see a lot of value addition. Because I started by saying that my change comes from the table. If you give the young generation bananas, raw bananas, whether cooked, especially when cooked, hawazitaki. So we are value adding the bananas into flour and crisps. They are always buying crisps from the supermarket. And if you go to our booth, you'll find crisps both for sweet potatoes, bananas, arrowroots, and even unga of the same, even for beetroots and bananas, sweet potatoes, all that. So that when we value add that, it becomes sweet, it becomes appetizing for them, because we do not want them to continue eating the junk foods. Because we know that if the arrowroots are agroecologically grown, if they are the products that we are value adding are agroecologically produced, then they are safe for our diet. Then the other thing is about men engagement. In GROOTS Kenya, we have a module we call Champions for Champions, a very unique model we call Champions module, but we have a model we call Men for Women Champions. But women are the leaders in this, so that we don't leave the men behind. Like what our extension officer said, that he's a man for women champion, because he believes in what? Even from his home, he was to give an example, he would say that I have learned so much from my wife. And so we engage a lot of men in that. Also, we work in groups. GROOTS Kenya, the registration is not as an individual. We work in groups, and these groups are mapped, inducted into the movement, because it is a movement. And we have so many, so you cannot come into the movement as an individual. And in the RWCC project, I'll talk on, we said, and Chebetri explained that we are working under 3 partners in Kenya, that is HIVOS, Seed Savers, and GROOTS. And each partner brings in an expertise. And so in GROOTS Kenya, we are working in 2 counties, that is Kitui and Laikipia, where we had 94 groups of each around 25 members who are practicing agroecology module. The one we have, the first one in Kenya to be produced. This module, we do not have another one in Kenya. It was a feminist agroecology module that has 24 sessions. We have 2 modules, one for farmland and one for rangeland, because all our counties, the 30 counties that we work in, most of them are ASO, arid and semi-arid lands, where all the components are almost the same. And so we have 2 modules, rangeland and farmland. And we have 94 groups in Laikipia and Kitui. And we have set up, Esther said, we have set up demonstration farms in all the 10 wards in Laikipia and Kitui. And even what HIVOS is doing, we are all partnering in our individual expertise. The other one is on value addition and markets. What we value add and what we are doing over the 6 years, after being trained on seed saving by Seed Savers Network, we started the demonstration farms, and I host one of the demonstration farms, and that is a learning, like a learning institution, where the farmers from the groups come to learn. They are able to replicate whatever practice, the different practices, the side pits, the multi-story gardens, the recycling of different practices that we are doing, the manure composting that they are doing in their individual homes. So whatever they learn from the demonstration farm, they are able to replicate in their individual farms. And that has seen farmers growing even. I connect that with the one that the farmer who was about the urban and the peri-urban farming, whereby the practices that we are using can also be practiced even in multi-story houses, in your balcony, because you can have your onions, your vegetables right outside your house. You don't have to have a big farm. You don't have to have exactly a farm. You can have the recycling of things, the bottles,
the thermos, the broken thermos, the containers that you use for cooking oil, you can use them to do agriculture. And then the other one is for the job creation. When you go back to you visit our booth, you will be able to see the value addition of the youth, what they are doing in their individual homes, because they are creating work. We know that agroecology is both crops and livestock. We are seeing the women, the Maasai, the pastoralist communities using the gozi to make belts and bags as value addition for the livestock, and also making the beef talu, the mafuta ile ya kupikia, which is very nice for our health. So, and we have market. The only challenge that we have is inaitwaje hii certification. So we are encouraging partners so that when we do our value addition, we can have a certification for agroecologically grown products, so that we can have markets, because every time you go to the market, unaulizwa certification. So that is our greatest challenge in the room, and we should partner, we should have partners, and who will help us to have certification of all the products, agroecologically grown products, so that we can have markets for our own. Last but not least, we are very grateful to our partners, GROOTS Kenya, HIVOS, and all the others, Pelham, who have partnered with us in many, many areas to empower our communities. And the groups that we make are not groups only for farming. They also do table banking, as it was said. They have areas of synergy, like as one of the principles of agroecology, where they have lessons or activities they do together, even for mental health, where they do football, they do knowledge sharing in their groups, so that it's not only farming, but they are able also to do activities that they are able to unwind or offload the things that women go through in their day-to-day lives.
Much has been said and much has been answered. So allow me just to be very brief in the interest of time. What I would want to add, it's about the youth, how they embrace the indigenous foods. We have seen that lately we've been having lifestyle diseases, and they are not affecting only the older people, they are affecting even the young people. And we all know that life starts at 40. And so as the youth or the youth champions in my county, we've made up a mind that we have to eat safely so that we can get to 40 and beyond. And so that encourages us to practice safe farming, so that at least we can get to 40, we can get into those older ages. I beg to stop there.
Thank you. Kuna swali ambalo liliulizwa, how I have helped my community. I can say that I have helped my community because the model you have seen here, it was released in July last year. And I'm one of the mentors. Ama niseme, mina ni mmoja wa wale wanamenda the women farmers. I have 178 households. Mina somesha wamama wengine. Niko na vikundi 10. Siko na members 178. All of them. Hawa ndio nilikuwa nawaambia wako na kitchen gardens in their homes. Na pia I don't work alone. Tunaenda kufanya na extension agriculture extension officer. Yaani tunaenda na wao kusomesha hao wamama. Na pia nashukuru Mungu because kama mlivyosikia nikiongea kizungu hapa, sikuwa naweza, lakini niliposoma hii kitabu ikaisha. Kizungu ikaingia kwa akili na kwa ulimi. So I can talk English frequently. I thank God. Wakati mwingine mimi nitaongea kama nyinyi. So I can say that as I've said that the Mondo was released last year July. We started joining the groups in the first week of August, and then now we are in the last chapter. So we have done the Mondo. Ni zile ambazo hawakuelewa tunarudia. So the women are doing well. Siwezi kaa na hiyo ujuzi peke yangu. Na pia ndemo inatusaidia. Na wanatembelea ndemo, wanasoma. Na wanaenjoy, wanataka kuendelea. Na wanaendelea na kufanya kama vile wanaona. Na pia wengine wanakuja kwa shamba yangu ili waweze kuongeza zenye wanataka ama zile ambazo. Na ninawapea mbegu za kila mbegu nawapea bure ili wao waniinge. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that has also answered the question, how do we bring on board other women?
I just want to mention briefly what is contained in our agroecology policy as a county. We wanted to make it a bit different from what other counties had prepared. And there are clear articles in that policy that clearly stipulates the transition from the perception of agroecology produced produce and the convention one. There are also clear articles touching on gender transformative agroecology, touching different gender and their roles. That is including women, men, and the agriculture youth. There are also articles clearly defining the benefits of rural women financially and what the county can do concerning advocacy and the rights of rural women as far as financials are concerned, both coming from the county and outside collaborators. They are also touching on the rights of women and certification of agroecology produce.